Hey besties, I'm Anna.
And I'm Teresa.
And welcome back to Sip and Chat, where we spill the tea on life lessons. Welcome back, everyone.
Woo-hoo.
Welcome back to our second episode of the year.
Yes.
We are so excited to have everyone with us today. Thank you for following us. Thank you for subscribing.
For liking and commenting.
Yes.
It means a lot.
And watching our first episode.
Yes.
We hope you enjoyed it.
20 minutes of it. But yes, we're so enthusiastic about this second episode.
Yes,
where
we
you
are.
will have the opportunity to learn more about us. Me and
Yes.
her.
All about us.
But if you have any questions that you want to know about us, feel free to comment and we will answer it in the next episode.
Yes. All right. Let's get to know about us. So, Teresa, tell me a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Teresa Lopez. I was born, this one we didn't cover, but I was born in Clinton, raised in Basin, which a lot of people probably don't know about. Those are little towns that nobody. I remember when I first came to church, nobody knew where Clinton was or Basin was. Nobody.
Oh.
They were like, "Where's that?" And I'm like, "Towards Wilmington." But anyway, that's where I was born and raised, in these little towns where it's all about agriculture.
Yes.
And it stinks really bad, but I love it because it's private. And I come from a large family. My mom and dad had 7 children, so I'm a sibling of 7. 5 girls and 2 boys. And yeah, I'm the second youngest. And I was not spoiled, just like they say. They say I was spoiled, but I was not. I didn't get everything I wanted. And now, fast forward to where I'm at now. Well, so my parents are divorced now. They were divorced when I was like about 5 years old, maybe. I think 5. And ever since then, my mom has been in and out of my life. But, I'm here now. I do have a stepmom. She's great. At first, it was a little rocky road, but we are on good terms now. She loves my kids, and I love her as their grandmother. So yeah. And then fast forward to now, I am married a year. So in this year, actually, I got engaged, married, and pregnant. So that was a blessing. It really, really went fast. And I am a mom of twin little boys.
Who are super, super cute. My gosh.
They are. I love them. They're 10 months right now. Their first year will be next month. Ooh, I'm so excited. I want to go all out, but we'll see. We'll see. But yes, that's about me. I am a full-time mom. So I'm a full-time mom and wife.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, y'all, my name is Anna Miguel Barrios. Not technically legally Barrios yet. But
she is.
Yeah. But I was raised here in North Carolina. I lived the majority of my life in Wayne County and then moved to Johnston County. My parents are from Mexico. My mom is from Hidalgo and my dad is from Chiapas. They had 5 kids. I am the oldest of all 5. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters who I love very much.
Sometimes. No, I'm just kidding.
They're days. But I mean, who don't have those days?
That's nice.
I got married back in 2016. I have been married for 9 years and I will be 10 years at the end of this month. So, it's been long, a long journey.
Jail time. I'm just kidding.
Yes. My prison time is almost up. No, I'm just kidding. No, I've been married for quite a while. It does not really feel like it. I will say that time flies by
It does.
quick. Like, it is crazy.
It does.
I am in school right now, working towards getting my associates in early childhood. I do love working with kids. I do work as a lead teacher for a 3-day program. I love working with younger kids. The older ones scare me a lot. Little ones, they love you no matter what. The older ones, they can be kind of mean.
They're sassy.
Yes, and I'm like, oh, I'm not ready for that. But I was raised in church. Still go to church now. My family, we all serve, in church. We love God. But I think it's all about me right now.
Yeah. I also do attend church. Don't worry, guys. I'm not atheist or anything. That's what I love about us, that we do have that connection.
Yes.
We do have faith-based background where we'll be able to connect on that level, which is so good. So, Anna, how did your background shape you?
I will say, being raised in the church, and especially within my family, how would I say it? It really did get me ready for where I am now in life. I might not have understood a lot of the things that my parents maybe said no to or wouldn't let me participate in and stuff like that. But now, as I'm older, as I'm forming, so I have my own family, it's kind of like, oh no, I understand why you didn't want me to go down this road. I mean, there was some mishaps here and there. I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't always I wasn't always your little angel. I did step out of the church for a while, and it did not work out. I will say that.
Lesson 101, never leave God.
No,
never
please don't. I think the fact that my parents cultivated for me to have a relationship with God from a very young age really did help me now, because I know that there is someone that I can come to whenever I'm going through, situations and stuff like that, and be like, Father, I leave it in your hands, let it be your will. And it's hard. I'm not going to say it's easy, but I feel like they really did prepare me, and they gave me different insights of, different things. And I have learned to use those tools to better help me as an adult now.
For sure. I think for me, my background, we grew up in a lot of parties, but also I remember going to church and leaving church and going to parties. Like, I never was grounded in a church growing up. But what that did for me is realizing the double life that I didn't want.
Oh, yes.
And I realized that I was like, either I'm in church or I'm not, Either I'm for God and either I'm for the devil, as cliche as that sounds. Like, I feel like living that way really hurt me in a sense, because I was like, dang, my parents didn't give me the right way. Once I learned the right way, right, I was able to be like, wow, my parents didn't show me the right way. But what I loved was that my dad always showed me morals. He always had the best morals for me. No, you can't spend a night at other people's house because you don't know what can happen. Or no, you can't curse, or you can't be drinking and doing drugs and whatnot. So I never did any of that. Maybe a little glass of wine now that I'm older, but like nothing that when I was younger, hiding behind my parents' back, doing things that I'm not supposed to. That was never me. I was always, my dad, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm at. Like, he's always showed me to have that trust with him, that connection, to be able to express anything that I'm feeling to him, which that helped me mold me to, fast forward to now, where I'm able to talk about things and how I feel and not hold things in, and be able to express it rather than holding on to it and letting things. Have you ever seen that meme where you're holding on to a rope and it's cutting you more than it's helping you, and you think that you're just like holding on to it and holding on to it? I think that's what my dad instilled in me, and to know when to let go of things and when not to. To see the red flags, as people nowadays say it, see the red flags and be like, okay, this is not where I need to be. So I think that's what my background did for me, and also on the other flip side, like my parents getting divorced, through that I was able to find God, and he was able to restore me and to take a lot of things out of my past or my childhood that I didn't know that I was carrying.
Okay.
And I love that.
Well, what's one thing that people would, you would say you have that people wouldn't like be surprised by, or
wouldn't be surprised?
Yeah, wouldn't be, or would be surprised by.
Okay.
My bad.
Well, I think that's a hard question. What would people be surprised about me?
You don't know?
What about you? Come back to me.
I think for me is I'm actually a patient person. Believe it or not. I'm actually very patient when it comes to kids. Adults, on the other hand, I feel like I'm more like
snappy.
Because I will say
you know better.
But I do have a pretty good patience quality, which a lot of people would be surprised to actually know, because I could be a bit of a son.
Oh, a lot of people are surprised that I speak Spanish because I am white.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Growing up, like everybody was like, "You speak Spanish?" And then I'll be like, "Yeah, I speak Spanish." But then the last name gives it away sometimes. And then sometimes people look at me and they're like, "You have Hispanic features." So they start talking to me in Spanish. Especially when I had blonde hair, people would be like, "You speak Spanish?" I'm like, "Yeah."
I still remember meeting her at first.
Oh, we'll get into that. But yes. How would you describe your personality in 3 words?
I feel like I'm compassionate, I'm observant, and I want to say compassionate, observant. I want to say there's a word I can't remember. Well, I'm very approachable. There we go.
Not me. I've heard people say that I look stuck up.
Oh, I got that a lot. Don't worry. But I am approachable once you get to know me.
Well, that's not approachable, though. That's not approachable. You gotta pick a better word for that. You're friendly.
Yeah, I'm friendly. I am friendly. I will say that.
I was like, wait, no, approachable is not having a face where people are like, "Oh, you look stuck up." I don't understand that, though, because I feel like I've always been outgoing,
Yeah, no, I always get that too. I'm like, people, once I become friends with them, they were like, I didn't really want to talk to you because you look very stuck up. And I'm like, y'all, it's just my face. I'm sorry.
My face is this, but my inside is like, talk to me.
Yeah.
How are you doing? But anyway, for me, I feel like I'm bold, very bold.
Yes, very.
I'm compassionate and I'm passionate about things.
Yes, she is.
Very passionate. Especially whenever, like, you can't take my mind off of things that I'm very passionate about. Like, you can't.
Yes, very. She is a very passionate person. I have seen that side of her.
Like, you're not gonna destroy me because this is my passion. So let's get into like how we met. I remember that day like it was yesterday, to be honest. I remember that I walked into church. It was I don't know if it was my first time there.
It was your first time.
I don't know. But I was sitting there by the camera. I remember that so vividly. And then I remember La Hermana Elia.
I don't think it was her.
Yes, it was.
Is it? I think it is Eliana.
She was looking at me and she was like, just telling somebody. I could hear her, but I was over here closing my eyes worshiping, and I could hear her. Ve háblale.
Like, go talk to her. She don't know.
no sabe inglés o no sabe español, and I was like, oh gosh, this
and
is
they chose
awkward.
the worst person too, because let me tell you right
awkward.
now, I cannot be put on the spot to be doing this kind of stuff because I'm like, no, I don't want to go. No, because I get scared because I'm always like, I don't think I'm going to say the right thing.
It was funny. It was so funny because I was like, I understand everything they're saying. Why don't they just approach me? And she was over here. How are you? Like she with her English that she does know. And she was so funny. Though.
Oh my god,
I loved her. I still love her. But anyway, then I don't know that if you came up to me.
Yeah.
And then you started talking to me like, how are you? Like, what's your name? So very like awkward.
Yes, it was very
moment.
Forced, y'all.
But
it was.
Then when we went outside to eat, it was a little different. Like we were having a better conversation. I
feel like it helped that we had other people around us too, because then we could all kind of ask questions and because it really was forced. Like, I mean, they put me right on the spot.
Even after that, we didn't really talk.
No, we didn't. I think, honestly, we did not start getting close until, like, last year. Yeah.
That's crazy that we're now doing a podcast.
Hey, but there are seasons for different friendships, okay? I'm just saying.
That's facts.
I mean, we knew each other. We weren't.
I think there was just circumstances that were talked here and there about certain things about either you or I that it's just not even relatively true.
And I know
it was just
sad.
Weird.
It's so sad.
It's crazy how people can just break up or not, or how you say it,
stop a friendship from forming
before it even forms because of things that you hear.
Yeah,
that's so sad.
I think that's something that I've learned, that I started like putting into me, that you might have a perspective of a person, but that's not my perspective until I meet that person. Because I used to do that a lot, that if you tell me about someone and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to be friends with them.
Right.
And it's so bad because when I had that actual connection with that person, because moments happen here and there, like you really never know. And I'm like, oh, you are totally different from what they've told me. And it's like, it's really crazy because then I feel bad because I'm like, dang, like I judged you before, I could actually get to know you.
Yeah.
Like, dang.
But things happen.
We're here now though.
Yeah. But I feel like even then, I still don't let those things, I never really let those things have a thought about you or a perception of you. I feel like it was more like, I prefer not to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I prefer not to if that's really how it is. It wasn't more like this is who you are.
Yeah.
It was more like
I just don't really want to find out.
Yeah.
Like, I just rather just steer away. Yeah.
Let's keep our distance. So if that's how you are, you stay with somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think last year is what really defined our friendship that brought us to this podcast whenever you started the Pour It Out session.
Yeah. No, I think it was actually before that. I think it was during your pregnancy. I've got to know you a little bit more because we started talking a little bit more. Oh, because we started the
Casa de Paz.
Yes, the House of Peace that we started having for young married couples.
Yes.
So
that is where we started talking, huh?
I think that's where we started to get to know each other more, and we started to have a lot of connections. And I was like, oh, okay.
And then I feel like you came like every week to see the boys, and I was like,
oh yeah, they were so cute.
That's what people say.
I know. I'm like,
I don't feel like they said anything like terrible. I'm making it sound like you were the worst person on the earth.
It's okay, y'all. It's okay.
But
I don't take it to heart. I've learned that. My identity in Christ.
That our perspective has shifted now, and we are here. This is why we're here. I feel like that's the purpose.
Yes.
Like we have a purpose here, and that's why we had to go through what we went through or whatever. We didn't even go through that much hardships, but we sound like, but what we had of each other or the things we have heard about each other, we had to go through that to be able to get here.
Yeah.
So that lesson is that you cannot judge a book by
its cover.
Its cover.
It sounds cliche, but it's
what
true.
Other people say. do not take other people's word for it.
Yes, because I will say that different people have different relationships. Because I'm not gonna say, oh my God, I am best friends with the entire world. Like,
Or
no.
expectations,
Yeah.
right? Like they have different expectations.
I'm like, because
of a
we
friend.
might have things that we do not see eye to eye on, and some people might take it closer to heart than others might, and
Yeah.
sometimes that causes a confusion of how you feel about someone.
And I feel like it takes honesty and communication.
Yes.
To be like, and I might have not liked this and that. Yeah. Okay. Well, sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
Sorry. And then, so the next question is, how are we similar and how are we different? I think we're similar because we are very organized. Maybe,
We like structure.
yes, structure.
And
I
we've
think
learned that.
We learned that
We
through
learned.
this
We like to
podcast.
have our little
We're
to-do
like,
list and stuff that we're gonna be,
each kind of like, what's it called? Reunion. What's it called?
our meetings.
Our meetings.
There we go.
We're like, okay, we gotta know what we're talking about because we ain't coming just to talk. But sometimes we would, right? We'd just sit
Yes.
there and talk about life. What else? And how are we different?
I feel like different is she is more think process through.
She's more spontaneous.
Yes, I'm more of let's see what happens later on. Sometimes it don't work out, but we do have fun
Right.
on the way there. But she thinks about you like, hey, I don't know, maybe we should think about this before we do stuff. I'm
Right.
more of let's do it and see, let's find out.
So we're just asking questions back and forth just so that you guys can learn about us. And honestly, I feel like we're learning about each other
Yes.
along the way.
God.
Another thing, who's more likely to be late?
I am. I'm more likely to be late, unfortunately.
If it's not for my kids, I will 100% be there on time. But sometimes, like with my kids, I have to like bathe them and then have to tell
Yes.
my big kid, aka husband, get ready, come on, let's go, help me. But yes, with two babies, it's hard to get out of here.
No, I'm always just running all over the place. I have a very busy schedule.
For sure.
For this podcast, it was a lot of having to get schedules because I'm all over the place. And
Yeah,
I told
for
myself
sure.
this year, I want to be more punctual with my time and be more intentional with it because I feel
Yeah,
like I need to
for sure.
prioritize things.
Me too. My fitness goals have been since 2025. I mean, no, 2020, let's say. Girl, it's hard out here. Another question. Who's more organized? I think we covered that. Me.
Yeah, she is
I'm
more organized. Yes, very.
Who's more spontaneous? Her. This is a question I feel like it's kind of hard. What's something you disagree on but still respect about each other?
I feel like right now, as we've met each other, we've kind of been on the same page. So I don't think we've had. I feel like even if we've had disagreements, it hasn't been like a big deal. We just kind of like, okay,
Yeah, that sounds good.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like, which
I think
feel
we
like
have
this-
similar
likes, yeah. And similar train of thoughts as well.
Yeah.
I've noticed that too.
Like we need to think about this, and this, and then all right, let's put it together.
Yeah. So maybe by the end of the year, we'll find out a little more.
Yeah. Like we said, our friendship has just started last year.
Yes.
So
And it's been good.
so
It's been
far,
fun.
yes. Well, you know later on. If we don't have this podcast, I'm just kidding.
You'll know. Let me stop. Just like.
I think that's another thing. I think our what's it called? Our humor is
Yes.
kind of I think that's where we did hit it off. Like
Oh
the
my
first
gosh,
time.
I think it's your dark humor that I love. And I'm like, okay, I'm not the only
am
one.
Dark. I am dark humor. That's something that people are surprised about. My dark humor. I don't spread it everywhere. Okay, I'm not gonna say dark humor here because not everybody takes it the same. But I think that's just how we connected.
Yes. I know. I think there was one day that I don't know what you had said, but I was trying not to giggle so hard because I could tell everybody else in the moment was just like, what? And I'm like, is it funny? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
But yes, I do love her dark humor.
I do have dark humor. Yeah. It's sad sometimes because I want to change that because I don't want to like make people feel bad or like. But then again, I think that's where you choose your friendships and. Well, you got to choose how you are around certain people, though.
I also do feel like it takes maturity to know that if you felt a certain way about something that, you know, you said or something, it's where you need to ask and be like, hey, what did you mean by this? Because I did not feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I have learned throughout the years, like I said, maturity. It took in a lot of maturity for me to get there, but to be able to be like, hey, I did not like what you said, or I felt a type of way, and I want you to explain.
Yeah, what did you mean by that?
And it's okay. It's okay to ask for an explanation. I feel like sometimes we're just too afraid to make another person uncomfortable, but I feel like once you do that, it kind of like lays out like this boundary line. Okay, I know that this person doesn't like this, so let me be more, you know, cautious or
how you speak.
Yeah.
But then again, I feel like you don't need a relationship or friendship that you're walking around eggshells.
That's true too.
Like people gotta know, like obviously
always be respectful. Yeah, always be respectful.
Disrespectful. But I think that you can't have a friendship where you're walking around eggshells and anything you say is gonna hurt that person, because at the end of the day, they have to know how you are.
Yeah.
And how like you don't mean it that way.
Yeah.
You know,
you can be acquaintance, but sometimes that's just not the friendship that you're gonna walk through with life.
Like you don't take it to the level of friendship or even best friends. Like it's just not gonna go there.
No, it's not gonna go well, y'all. It really isn't.
But yeah. Well, we're not experts on friendship either way, so that's just our life lessons.
Yes.
But anyway, next, what's the podcast purpose and vision?
Well, I think we cover a little bit of that in our, you know, first episode, you know, that we want to be able to create a safe space, somewhere where people can relate to, somewhere where you can learn and form a community, learn, and, you know, for it to be a blessing for other people so they can feel welcome and have this space where it'd be like, oh, you know what, let me listen in and see what I can learn today. Because like in the first episode, we talked about that there might be things that you might be going through that we've already went through, and you're gonna, you know, you could be like, oh, sounds kind of similar to what I'm going through. You know, maybe let me pick up on tips or things that they did to help them.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, I mean, I've honestly, like in life, like just listening to other people, I have learned a lot of things that I have used later on. And it's really crazy because I would be like, oh, you know what? I remember such and such went through this, you know, a long time ago. Let me try it their way and see how this works out.
Yeah. And I feel like for me, that's played out a lot in my life. What I shared about like the marriage retreats, being there before even being married, helped me a lot in marriage. And then second of all, like, dang, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something. What you learned now that will help you later on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. I'm human.
That's okay, y'all. We forget a lot of things. I feel like
yes. There was something else that I had learned before getting there, but I forgot.
It's just life is a learning lesson. Like it really is. Like I've learned things from my parents, learned things from my friends.
For sure.
I learned things through preachings that sometimes I'm like, ooh, okay, like wow.
When I get there, I don't know.
Yeah, like honestly.
Oh, like motherhood. Like I feel like that's another one where before I was a mother, I was taking care of my nieces, nephews. Mm-hmm. So I had that. I guess you're not always with them because you can't just give them away and be like, okay, I need a break. But I think that helped me in this stage of life. Yeah, in this stage of life to be like, okay, well, I know I got to feed them. I know they got to play. I know they got to take naps so they can be happy.
Yep. But yeah, that's what we kind of want to make sure that our podcast stays, you know, for people so they can relate to, so they can, come back and learn something from it. Like, we always want to be a blessing to others. And it's the whole point of why we created this. It's the whole point we wanted to come together and be like, hey, this is where
you are not alone.
Yeah. Like, you have a friend in us.
I think that's why a lot of people turn to drugs, what's I going to say? Depression, suicide even, or like cutting yourself. I don't know.
It's just that loneliness that people feel sometimes that can get them to that stage of life where, you can feel so alone and not have a friend. And that's the point, this podcast. We want to make sure that, if you are in that stage of your life where you feel lonely, you have someone that you can listen to, someone you can learn from, have that friendship that, maybe you don't have at the moment, and maybe learn how to build that friendship. Because, that's what we're here for, to build a community where people can learn from us as we can learn from them.
Yeah. Don't let yourself get into depression, oppression, cutting yourself or anything like that. Like, you are valuable. Like, you are not defined by your mistakes. Mm-mm. You're not defined by what people say you are. You get to decide who you are in this life. And if you decide that you are a person that's going to get up every day with a purpose, with a living, with, how do you say it, with a... Determination, yes. Just to get out there and do intentional work of what you want to, a legacy that you want to hold in this world. And you have control of that. You just have to decide to make the best choices, decisions, and really get out there and do the work.
Yeah, that's why we decided to do this podcast. We want to be able to empower people to make sure that they feel valued, make sure that they feel seen. And we want to build that here. We want to build that community, be able to relate, be able to form friendships, be able to, find empowerment. Because sometimes, we might, feel at our lowest point, and we just need that little word that kind of gets to us and be like, okay, I'm enough. I can do this, I'm valued. I'm seen, because sometimes in life we get lost. Yeah. We can feel less of. I've been there. We're all human. We're not perfect. We're not indestructible here. Like, in honesty, life is hard.
If we let it.
There'd be moments where, I'm not going to lie, I've been there where I have felt, at my lowest point. And sometimes even hearing from like a random TikTok video, there's little quotes that sometimes like inspirationals that they put up there. And I'm like, I needed this. Like, I needed this to remind myself of who I am.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I feel like we know what we're supposed to be doing. We just don't do it sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think that's where not having that sense of purpose kind of sets you back from achieving what you could achieve in life. And you can do it. You can.
If we can do this podcast, you could do anything.
We got out of many things in our life that we will share later on. We got out of it. You can get out of it too. Like, you can do it. But what does set us apart from other podcasts is having that faith-based platform where we can just share the gospel too, because we're not ashamed.
No, we're
not ashamed. We know
the importance.
Lord, yeah, we know the Lord is very important in our life, and He has gotten us out of many things. He has gotten us through many things. Mm-hmm. He has blessed us with many things, and we can't just leave Him in the back burner.
Yeah,
we know that He's the one in front of everything that we do.
Yeah, we can't take credit for the things that we are building in life, knowing that He's been our main support.
He's our rock, our foundation.
He's everything.
Yes, everything we need. We could get more into that too.
Yes,
but let's keep going.
So, Teresa, what is personal growth that you want to work on this year?
For me, it's just like being a better wife, being a better mother, and then also hitting off my career. Like, I want to do some things in my career where I'm able to contribute to the household income, and while still being a full-time mom. I think that's what I want to achieve more than anything. Just be better at what I'm already doing and be consistent. Be consistent and intentional with, I just think that sometimes we're not intentional on the spectrum of just letting things go by, like see what happens. Instead, let's set up this day to go on a date, or let's set up this day to, for the kids so they can have fun. I know they're 10 months old, but they still, can feel, they still can see, they still can smell. And I think they could, smart. Yeah, they can enjoy many things in life, and learning how to motherhood is just a new thing to me, where I'm learning what to feed them, or at what point. They were premature, so it was hard at first. I wanted to feed them at 4 months when they were like opening up their mouth and wanting some, and the doctor was like, "No, they're preemies. Let them take their time." So I started feeding them at 8, and they're eating steak, chicken at 10 months. They're eating steak and chicken and eggs, everything. But I had to learn that. I didn't know that a premature baby can't be like every other baby.
Life is hard.
Yeah, but I had to learn motherhood. Some parts I already knew. I knew they had to drink their bottles. I knew they were going to wake up every 2 to 3 hours. I was already expecting that part, but it's what comes after. I haven't gotten to the part where they're expressing their feelings to me, and I'm like, how do we assess this? Or they're spilling something all over the floor, and I'm like, do I act out of anger, or do I act out of love and be like, okay, you know what, baby, it's okay. So, yeah, if you have any tips for me, please send them my way.
Yes, if you send them to her, I learn from her, so please.
Yes, please, because that's what I want to learn. I want to learn how to be a better mother, especially for any future children that I may have, that God wants to bless me with. I want to be able to be prepared for that.
Yes.
So yeah, what about you?
So a personal growth of mine this year is that I want to be intentional with my goals. I'm very good at setting goals for myself. I'm very bad at committing to them. In the past, I'll set a goal and I'll be like, maybe not.
We'll see.
Yeah. But
I feel like that's how we are, because we allow ourselves to be taken by the wind. Something
honestly, I do. I do go where the wind goes, I should say. No, but I do want to be more intentional with my goals this year. And plus, we are betting. I got together with a group of friends I think it was maybe a day or two ago. And they did a bingo card for the year. So basically, we go up there, we put all these goals that we want to achieve, maybe as a group, maybe individually, we just filled it up however we want. And then at the bottom, we signed it and we put a due date for next coming up year. And by next year, we have to see who filled up most of their bingo card. And we are betting $100. So I got to make sure that I get my $100 because I ain't trying to lose money. Yeah, I ain't trying to lose money.
No. Hey, if you need any motivation, I'm here for you. Now, if I'm going to go along the way, I don't know.
If any of you know anybody that does bull riding lessons, please let me know. I did not realize when I put this down that we were going to bet money, but it's on the card, so there's no going back.
Well, excuse me. That's one that you can just leave out. I don't know about riding an actual real bull.
I've been wanting to for the longest.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go ahead, girl.
I'm telling y'all, some of my decisions, they're questionable.
But what motivates you on hard days?
My bills. I say.
Good one.
My bills. They motivate to let me know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They motivate me. They tell me,
this
girl,
one drafted. All right, keep going.
But you don't want to end up with no money, so let's go. Nah, I'm just kidding. I think what really motivates me is my husband. Like I said, we've been together for a very long time. We've gone through thin and thick. Our marriage hasn't always been the most stable, but even through that, we've seen God work in many ways in it, and it has really built us, and he has really been great blessing to me, and he's very supportive, especially of my dreams and my goals that I want to achieve. He kind of, helps me through day to days, because I will say there's times where I crash out like real bad because I feel so overwhelmed like with things in life. Like I said, I go to school, I manage other things, and there's moments in life where it becomes so much that I feel like I can't take it on anymore. And he just kind of reminds me and tells me, he's like, hey, it's okay. You're going to get there. We just got to take it a step at a time, or you need to be more patient, more forgiving with yourself. And things like that is what motivates me to keep going, especially to also be that help for him, to also, be that good wife to be able to get him to where he needs to as well in life.
That's what God intended marriage to be like. To help one each other, like motivate when we don't have any motivation, to, lift each other up when we can't. I just feel like marriage is it's a very, 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 very big blessing.
Yes.
And I feel like the only ones that, struggle through a marriage is ones that don't want to communicate, and ones that don't want to.
Communication is key.
Yeah. I feel like that's
where we lagged a lot. It was the communication skills, because it was hard. It was, like I said in the first episode, I got married
young.
Literally, I think my second semester of high school. So when I say I was young. I was young.
young.
So yeah, we've learned to communicate as we've gotten older. We've realized, especially with other people in church, they have taught us as well, be like, hey, you have to learn to communicate. Because if I'm one of those that I'm really bad at communicating needs or communicating feelings, because sometimes I'll just kind of watch. That's why I say I'm very observant. Like, I will see everything that goes on around me, but I'm really bad at, I don't feel this way about this, or communicating what I feel or what I want sometimes is something that I just don't feel like I can do very openly. And I have learned through the years to do better with that. But yeah.
For sure. Mm-hmm. For sure. I think, iron sharpens iron, as the saying says. And I think marriage is very, very, very important.
It really is.
You need one another.
Yes, you do. Gosh.
Like two peas in a pod. I'm saying a lot of, what's it called? Similes. Similes?
Are they similes?
Yeah.
We don't know what it is right now, but we know it's something.
Let us know. All right. So, fun questions.
Okay.
Do you prefer coffee or tea?
Tea. Even though I'm drinking coffee, y'all, but I wanted y'all to see our pretty logo. But I prefer tea.
Can you see it? Let us know. I don't know. It's kind of the same as water.
Sorry, y'all.
They're just clear,
Yeah.
But we did show y'all in that video, so go watch it.
On TikTok, follow us.
Follow us. Comment. But yes, I think I am more of a coffee person, but I love tea too. So it's kind of hard for me. Like, I will love coffee in the morning, but like tea at night.
I think I've always liked tea. Tea's always been something that I'm like, ooh,
me too.
Yeah, I love the taste
tea.
of it.
I love manzanilla. I love green tea. I
don't do green tea. I've tried.
I love green tea.
I've tried green tea, and I'm like,
I grew up on that. Like, what was it? The Amway green tea.
Oh,
I grew up on the Amway
not
green
me.
tea.
Now I will say, recently I was telling my husband, I think maybe a month ago, that I have noticed that I've been picking up a little bit more on coffee. So I feel like my taste palette is changing here.
You're getting older.
Yeah, I'm getting to a new season. I have a little more seasoning in everything.
No, I love coffee. I love coffee. I love caramel frappes. Anything caramel. So if you ever want to give me a little gift, Starbucks coffee.
I cannot.
Actually, you know what? I like more of the off-the-wall coffee shops.
Really?
Yeah. Off the wall. Like, have you seen the Coffee on Broad?
Yeah.
Or like the, dang, what's that coffee shop they just opened? Bloom?
Yes.
Bloom Sit and Play or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. I've been there once. Their coffee.
If y'all have any coffee shops y'all want us to try here in North Carolina, please let us know.
Please.
Comment. We will go try them. I love trying new things.
Even if it's yours. One thing that's on my list is the Chico's coffee. Everybody says it's good, but it's
you know what's good? Dutch Brothers, whatever they're called.
Where's that at?
It opened up in, I think it's Mooresville. We went on, it was like a 45-minute drive from my house just to go get coffee. Just to try it, y'all, because we had a free coffee for the
Oh, no.
But it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm telling you, you have fun with me. I go on adventures.
Yeah, spontaneous. You know what? I would be up to it if I didn't have kids. You know, I'm like, all right, you know what? Let's go. But I think about it because of my kids. I'm like, are they going to be tired? Are we going to go through their nap times? Or, you know, just thinking about a lot of things. Are they going to get hungry? I'm like, we got to think about this. But anyway, next question. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
I am not a morning person. Trust me when I say this. My coworkers can tell for me, I am not a morning person. When I come to work, if my coworkers see me walk past them, I'll say good morning, but they notice whenever I'm in a hey, good morning mood and when I'm in a good morning mood. Like they know that, okay, let me give her 10 minutes and then she'll come out of her whatever's going on and then she's fine. But I am not a morning person. I am a night owl though. I will say that. I can stay up pretty late. And I tend to get this little spark of energy in the middle of the night to do things. I do not know why, but I do.
Couldn't be me.
But lately...
I guess that's where we're different.
Yeah. Lately, I have been noticing that I've been more tired. So I don't know. I feel like this... I really am aging, y'all.
We're inching up on 30, you know? Oh, we didn't even say how old we are.
Oh, yeah. Y'all... 28. Wait, am I 28?
That's how old we are.
Yeah.
We don't even know.
I think I'm 28. I'm pretty sure. 97, 28, yeah.
My sister was talking about the YMCA gym. And because you know how it has a swimming pool. And I was like, dang, I want to take my kids for lessons. And she was like, that you have to be 27 to get a discount. And I was like, no, under 27. I was like, you know what? I think I'm 27. I'm not sure. You know, who knows? But I think I'm 27. But I think, yeah, that's what we're going to go with. 1998. You let us know.
Oh, yes, I am 28 today.
1998.
I'm trying to count over here. Like, hold up.
So 27, 28. Okay. That's where we're at. If we're lying, let us know. Because I'm 1998 and you're...
1997.
1997. So, yeah. That's what it is. Okay. And if you could have dinner with anyone... alive or dead, who would it be? I think talking about this earlier, we were like, Jesus.
Yes, because I need a lot of answers.
Like, yeah, Jesus, you know.
I tell my husband all the time, because I'd be watching like The Chosen and like Genesis and David and, you know, all these little shows that they come out.
I never get into The Chosen. Really? I watched like, I think half of it and I was like, I don't know.
I love The Chosen. I feel like to me it was
how they talk. I don't know. I think I'm very particular.
I think for me it was just the cast of it, of me to be able to see it and this is what they could have been going through. Like I forget that they weren't these mythical people, like they were actual human beings. That's what I forget a lot. And I'm like, okay, you know, it's a little different perspective, okay. But I always tell Hugo, oh yeah, girl. I always tell Hugo, I'm like, I need Jesus to play a movie from creation to day of today, because I need to understand every point of view of what's going on, because it's a lot of questionable decisions that I like. What is this? Yeah, for sure. But yeah, for sure. I would want to talk to Jesus and have a date with him and be like, hey, me too. I have a lot of questions.
You know, I have thought about it and I'm like, what would Jesus do right now? What would he say about how I'm living my life? Like,
what would he say about this podcast? Is what I'm saying.
Right, because you think about it and you're like, you always want to please God. You always want to, you know, have your best foot forward and do your best work. And, you know, in everything you do, you want to do it for the Lord. And I just think that, you know, having Jesus here is like, what do you want us to speak on? And I think through his Holy Spirit, we're able to have that discernment on what to say. Yeah. But I think that having him here, you know, would be awesome.
Yes, it would be. There would be a lot
Like
of things.
here in real life. If I say next episode we'll have Jesus.
Can y'all imagine? Oh my God.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be so awesome. I would like, it's a pleasure. I would be so in awe.
I think I would be crying.
I'd be speechless. I'm like, what would you do if you had Jesus there?
I'd be sitting there, would you like tea or coffee? Oh my God.
I don't know. You know, they did drink wine back then.
I do like wine. I will
wine
say.
Drinkers. Yeah. I like some wines, not sweet wines.
I like my bitter wines. I don't know why.
I don't know.
I have a bitter taste. I really do.
She's a bitter person. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm not bitter.
She's not.
Surprisingly. Let me start. No, I am not bitter. I have Christ in my heart, so I have joy.
Facts,
Okay.
Facts. Amen. That was beautiful. Anyway, next one. What is your guilty pleasure TV show? Talking about TV shows.
Oof.
Mine right now is Scandal. If you've never watched Scandal, yeah, don't get into it. Don't get into it. Because as soon as you get into it, yeah, it is. Like, I just watch it and I'm like, okay, I need to watch the next one so I can know. It's just like these forensic, like, science mysteries that you have to figure out. And I like it because it challenges your mind. And I think that it's just good. But all the murder and, like, sex scenes, it's just, like, too much for me. But I like it because of that. Like, it challenges my mind to think ahead on what could be. And then I'm like, I knew it.
I think for me right now, unfortunately, has been, I don't know if like y'all know about like Mom Talk and stuff like that, but I've been watching Secret Life of Mormon Wives. I don't know what it is about these group of women, but they crack me up. It is just a drama that goes on, but then again, you also see like their everyday life. So it's pretty amazing to know that there's other people out there that this is their life. Like, this is what's going on. This is what they're going through. And that's pretty cool to me, but I'm becoming a little bingy watcher here, just playing video out there. Like, ooh, what happened?
Oh, you're going to watch the show again, aren't you? I'm like, yes, I am. The boys are asleep. You're over here playing your little game, and I'm going to watch my show. I love it. I've never gotten into shows like that.
Really?
Only Grey's Anatomy, and I watched it like twice.
But oh my gosh.
Other than that, like, I've never sat and watched a show like this one. Like, it's just crazy. I think that I have to go some days without watching it because it annoys the crap out of me on some things that I find out. But yeah, it's just, I love it.
For me, which is really weird because I don't really watch like shows like this. Because, like, for instance, like, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, there was something that my friends would always be like, you need to watch. And I'm like, I don't find, like, the interest in it. Like,
that was, like, 2013, right? Like, they would say about that. I'm like,
and I'm like, I still don't. And, I mean, there's plenty of shows out there like those, but, like, reality TV. Yeah. Like, I've never really been into them. But this show, this one, has really captivated me. And I'm like, what in the world? Like, okay. Because even my husband, sometimes he'd be like, what are you watching? And I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's just me. Like, let me be. Because I'm a very, I like the Korean dramas. I love the science fiction, the mystery. Into that. Really?
Never.
I had a friend that, Chelly, love you, girl. She's the one that hooked us up on Korean dramas.
She would always talk about it at church.
Yes. That's why I started watching them. Like, this is actually pretty good. Okay.
I just don't understand the point. But that's just me because I've never really actually sat down and watched it. So I just really never been big on TV because I feel like there's other things in life that you could be doing that's more beneficial. So now that I'm watching this show, it's just funny. Jokes on me, right? Now that I'm watching the show.
Jokes on me.
Jokes on me. Because I'm now watching the show. But anyways, well, yeah, this was our second podcast. Yes. Thank you for joining us. And we're so excited to have finished our second podcast.
Good job.
Second one of the year.
Hey.
And there's more coming to you. So
yes. So please
subscribe,
comment, follow,
and share.
Yes, please share it. Please share it. There's people that want to hear us. I promise you. It's not just me being egotistic. There's people that want to hear us.
They will be blessed because of what we had to say.
But please,
we believe it.
Stay tuned for our next episode here on Sip and Chat.